Welcome everyone to STEMGo, saving time and money in your business. Now, this show is a great show for checking out some really interesting and talented guests. And on my show today, I've got a special guest, and she is from Australia. She lives here normally, but she's in somewhere special today. I'm going to let her tell her yourself because I didn't know this. I didn't know this today. I didn't know where she's going to be. And it's really exciting, the story that she's got there going on there in terms of where she is and what she does. But yes, she's already in. So hello to you. Well, it's actually your evening, isn't it? Tell us about that.
Yes. Hello, everybody. It's actually Wednesday evening. I'm coming to you from Seattle in the US. And yes, that's right. I normally live in Brisbane, in Hamilton, but I'm sitting here beside the beach and there's ocean liners going past and seals diving out there, and it's just amazing. So
stunning.
Not to make you jealous or anything, but
of course not. Sure. Yes, I remember
Seattle.
Yes, so you're traveling down the east coast of the west coast of America.
Yes.
And yes, because I remember seeing you in Canada and some beautiful places up there. And I remember when we were traveling we slept, our claim to fame is sleeping in Seattle Airport. We didn't really do much in Seattle, to be honest. It was just a stop-off point to get somewhere else. But I remember staying in the airport. We had to sleep there for the night, and it's pretty comfortable actually on the floor in a sleeping bag. It wasn't too bad. Not as comfortable as you in an RV, I'm sure.
No, that's right. So I'm actually in RV, the RV, and I picked up RV in just outside of San Francisco. And then have travelled up to Vancouver and then heading back down again. So in Seattle now, and it's such a cool. I've been here since August 17, and I'm not going home until the 7th of October. So being organised and being able to run your business while you're travelling is a really important factor in terms of productivity specifically, because it's easy to get lost in the tourism stuff.
Of course it is. So
without a plan.
So you're still continuing your business on the road while you're touring the west coast of America. How stunning is that, guys, for productivity? That is a great lesson to learn for anyone who says you don't have time for anything.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And it just so happens that because I'm coming to you from the past, I already know what's going to happen. No, so it seems like you've got more time, because I can actually spend my whole morning doing the tourist stuff and then still catch up with some of my clients back at home in the afternoon, and it's just like a normal day. It's awesome.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. So just to I didn't introduce you very well. So yes, Cheryl, tell us who you are and what you do. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Awesome. Yes, my name is Cheryl and I run Unleash Academy, and we do a lot of virtual training, but I help organizations create capability, capacity and community within their organization. So I help with organizational culture, creating the right type of environment for people to learn and grow and be fully engaged, because we know the stats on disengaged employees are absolutely huge. And it's interesting that part of that engagement comes to how well people connect to the work that they have. And we know that if people are overworked and have too much going on, they can't stay engaged. But we also know it's true if they're underworked and they're not being fully utilised. So that's why creating the capability, the capacity and the community within organisations is really important.
Sure, that is awesome. That sounds really, makes a lot of sense. So tell us a little bit about what you get up to in terms of, apart from traveling around America and North America and being able to work on the road. Tell us a little bit about what boosts your productivity in your business. So what things you get up to that are efficient for you.
Yes. Well, I am the world's worst procrastinator. That's right. My name's Cheryl Daly, and I am a procrastinator. But there's some things that I've learned about procrastination. One of the things that happens around procrastination now, Piers Steele who's the world's leading expert on motivation, particularly procrastination. He said that to overcome procrastination or to have high levels of motivation, you have to have a high level of expectancy and a high level of value and a low level of impulsiveness and a low level of delay. So one of the ways around managing impulsiveness, which is how easily you get distracted, is by creating rituals. So having morning and afternoon rituals or morning and evening rituals helps you overcome procrastination. Who knew? It's got nothing to do with the actual work that you do. It's more about how you set up your day. Sure. Because what we know is that throughout the day, our resolve or our willpower starts to deplete. From the moment we get up in the morning, it starts to deplete. So if we've got some jobs that we don't really love, which that happens to me, sometimes I don't love writing reports. But if we set that up and we create rituals of a nighttime, which include setting the top 3 priorities for the next day. Okay. But the other ritual that I have, and this might seem familiar to some of you, remember when you were a kid and your folks or maybe you had to get all of your stuff ready for school the next morning? You put your shoes out, you had your uniform out, you had your lunch ready, all of that sort of stuff done the night before. You remember that?
Well, my mum did.
Your mum did. Well, the science behind that is the less things that you have to make a decision about in the morning, the more that just happens on autopilot, the more willpower you have to deal with the things that you don't necessarily like to do.
Makes sense.
So by creating the ritual, so my ritual is I get all of my things ready. I get it all laid out, even in RV. I get all of my clothes laid out in the morning. I set up my computer and all of the pieces of paper that I'm going to need first thing in the morning. I set out my breakfast routine and all of it's there. So the moment I get up, it's all just flow and I don't need to actually think about anything. So by the time I'm ready to start work, I've still got all of my willpower.
Awesome.
I haven't wasted it on deciding what to wear or deciding what to have for breakfast or making those decisions.
And
then once I actually get it all set out of a nighttime, so what gets measured gets repeated, and what gets rewarded gets repeated. So my reward after I've finished doing all of my prep work is to have usually a nice cup of lavender tea, which is amazing, and then just reading something that I like. Because if you see it in terms of, okay, this is my chore and then this is my reward, then you're more inclined to do it. And the same with the morning. When you start your day, first thing in the morning, if you can start your day doing things that you don't necessarily have to think about, like meditation is a great way to start your day. And journaling is a great way to start your day as well. And that's what I do. So I'll have breakfast at the same time, usually every day. And I get up when the sun comes up. So it often gives me more time and I don't feel so rushed in the morning. And that's my ritual. Get everything ready the night before, including the top 3 things that I'm going to do. And then I set that information aside so it's just there ready for me to go first thing in the morning. Then I get up when the sun comes up, meditate, and I can start my day without being all stressed out and overthinking things. Awesome. And then I've got enough capacity left without procrastinating.
That is great stuff. And have you managed to kind of maintain that same kind of routine while you've been on the road?
Yes, because it's now a habit for me. So if I don't do it before I go to bed, I think, I've forgotten something. I haven't, I've done something. Yes. And I don't get my lavender cup of tea if I don't do it. So I don't get my reward.
So you managed to, did you take your lavender tea with you or you had to buy some?
I did, yeah. No, I did. I had some. I found a syrup over here, which is really lovely. So, yeah.
Oh, that's stunning.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Lavender is great for relaxing as well, isn't it?
That's exactly right. And that helps me sleep so that when I wake up in the morning, I am, it's easy to go to sleep and I'm refreshed. And then my brain just is in cruise mode in the morning.
What about your time you go to bed? So if you get up at the same time and that's with the sun, what happens on an evening when you are ready to go to bed? What's the trigger for that for you? Is there anything?
Well, for me, it's not necessarily. It's usually after I've had dinner and I've sort of set away the dinner utensils and what have you, then I'll set my day up for the next day. So then that leaves me open, and I actually find it easier when I am in RV, even though I have a TV, it actually is quite a hassle to try and get the local station. So I don't watch any TV at all of a nighttime here. So it actually makes it so much easier.
Yes.
So going to bed, going to bed is you've got to have a certain time that you go to bed. So for me, that's around about 10:30.
Yes, because it's a little bit, it's glamping, isn't it? Let's face it, RV is glamping. And I've never been a glamper, I've always been a camper. But what the thing is that when you're camping, because there's no light, and I don't like light when I'm camping, I think, it's kind of spoils the atmosphere too much. I like the idea of like when it's going dark and after you've had your kind of your meal and that, it feels like it's time to just go to sleep. You know what I mean?
That's right,
without all the stimulation, it feels like you can sleep earlier in the night, which is interesting.
That's exactly right. Yes, yeah. You're right about that overstimulation, because the more that we have going on before we go to bed, because that's another one of the rituals, isn't it, about setting that time aside. You've got it all out of your brain for the next day. You can then start to unwind and really unplug. And so turning off devices is also a good idea.
Oh, for sure. Definitely, for sure. Once I leave the office on an evening, I don't come back. And I don't have any mobile phones or anything around me, because it just...
No.
That's office stuff. That's not my leisure stuff.
Exactly. And even though, yes, this is glamping, to run the power, you actually have to run a generator. And that's, even though it's not noisy, it's still a bit of a hum. So I don't like doing that after dark, because you're scaring away all the wildlife. So so it goes off as well. So there's no power, there's no TV, and, and it's part of that whole unplugging and getting that quiet time.
Of course. Have you come across any bears yet on your travels?
No bears. I've seen skunk, I've seen deer, I've seen seals, I've seen, that's about it. Oh, rabbits, but no bears yet. Yeah, rabbits.
Yes.
Oh, and wild horses. I had wild horses came up. I made the mistake of giving one an apple, and so he brought his mates back. So
you're in trouble then.
Yeah, and he stuck his head in the door saying, "I know you've got apples, Cheryl. Give me the apples."
I know. That's stunning. It's nice though, isn't it? It's nice to be amongst the wildlife, the local wildlife.
Exactly, it is.
As long as they don't cause you too much bother.
That's right. And then there's the local wildlife people too.
Oh yes, I bet they're interesting too.
They are. It's. I just love traveling, I think, and that's the part of having that ritual and part of having that habit makes it easy to be able to do those things and still maintain some level of routine and practice.
Yeah. So where are you off to next after Seattle? Tell us.
I think maybe Portland. Might go and have a look at some of those big trees, some of those big redwoods. Have a look at some of those.
Sure. They are beautiful.
Yeah, so I think Portland's probably about 3 hours drive. So that's a nice couple of hours in the RV, and then find somewhere wonderful to stay, and then do it all again.
Stunning. Well, thank you so much for joining us on your jollies.
Thank you.
Semi jollies, working jollies, all that kind of stuff. It's been super to talk to you.
Thank you.
Where can people get hold of you? How can people get hold of you? Let us know.
Okay, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn is probably the easiest one. I think my link is down there somewhere, or Instagram, because I am actually posting photos of where I'm going and what I'm doing on Instagram. So it's Cheryl McKenzie. Yeah, Cheryl McKenzie on LinkedIn, or it's unleash.academy on Instagram. and you can see all of the wildlife photos.
Yes, I will put those links on the show notes so people can get hold of you and follow your journey.
Excellent. Fantastic. And
For
if you want to
sure.
do some virtual training as well, we've got that covered as
Yeah.
well. We can do that.
Yes.
You never know where I might be coming from to do your training. So.
Absolutely. So they can get access to that through those links, can they, Cheryl?
Yes. Yep, they can.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, I hope you have a beautiful journey wherever you find yourself. And that's the great thing about traveling on the road. You never know where you're going to pop into.
Never know. That's exactly right.
And what you're going to see in those places, it's very exciting. I'm really excited for you. I sure am.
Fantastic.
Have a great
evening.
Much. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you.
Bye.
No worries. Bye.
Oh, so much gratitude here on this show for people that come on here and they're in the strangers places, of course. Thanks to Cheryl McKenzie for joining us today over in Seattle, and I hope that you've learned something from this show. I hope that you've learned that having rituals for Cheryl is a great way of helping to boost her productivity in her business. She's able to get out on the road actually and do things, still work on the road while really enjoying herself too. So if you're working kind of virtually, that really works for some businesses. But she still takes those habits, those great rituals with her to enable her to do great things in her business. And like she said, the more you repeat them and reward yourself for those habits, the more they get repeated. And it means that no matter where you go, you do those rituals very unconsciously. You don't even have to think about them. And that means you don't waste energy. You kind of conserve energy. And it means you can put that energy into other things that are going to enable you to be so much more productive in your business. So I love these shows. I really do. Cheryl and lots of other guests who come on this show are why I do this show. So if you want to come on this show, drop me a line. If you're a business owner and you've got some great things to share about what you do in your business that enables you to boost your productivity, I would love to have you on the show. Also, if you're watching this show and want to boost your productivity even more, come to STEMGo Facebook page, STEMGo Saving Time, Energy and Money. And there's tons of content and things that can help you on there too. And if you want to do a course, I've got a course which gives you free access on a lot of the tools and techniques that I use, that I have used with myself and other people in my businesses. So yes, I'll drop that link below, and yeah, come and join us. It'd be awesome to get to know you some more. So for now, have a great day, have a great productive day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.